From the thunderous roar of the stadium to the silent moments that made history, from the dusty fields of Africa to the bright lights of the world stage, this is Sports Echo.
And it's in! A goal in 50 seconds from Milan. Oh, would you believe it? Paolo Maldini, the skipper, has scored it. Here's Kaka. Lifted into Shevchenko. He's onside this time. He's got Crespo in support. Here's Hernan Crespo, 2-0. Hernan Crespo. Look at that from Kaka. And what a pass too for Crespo. And what a goal that is. What a goal that is. Hernan Crespo again. Sublime pass by Kaka. Towards Gerrard! Hello! Hello! Here we go! Steven Gerrard puts a grain of doubt in the back of Milan minds and gives hope to all the many thousands of Liverpool fans.
Good afternoon, sports lovers. This is Sport Echoes on Melody 100.7 FM. On this show, we dive deep into stories behind the scores, the legends, the heartbreaks, the breakthroughs, and the unforgettable moments that shape sports as we know it today. And yes, there's also the quiz segment where I ask questions, and if you get them, you're gonna win something. Alright, from Nigerian golden goals to Olympic shocks to African giants that shook the world stage, this show is your backstage pass to the past. I'm going to be bringing you facts, voices, memories, and maybe even a few cheers as we relive the moments that made fans scream, nations proud, history, take notes. So whether you're in traffic or at home or you're just chilling with your radio, I promise you this, after today, you will never see sport the same way again. Alright, I welcome you in the name of the chairman of Melody FM, Prophet Sam Adebayo Ojo Baba Authority, and also the general manager of Melody 100.7 FM, Eniola Afolabi, the sports marshal. The producer of this show is Pretty the Finest, Adegoke. And yes, Daniel Adeyemi is the studio manager for today, my brother. Engineer Amos 33 is right there doing justice to the engineering. And yes, my mama, she's right here with us in the building. Auntie Fee, also, giving us support when it comes to programs right here. All right, I'm Akinbobola, Egunfemi. Welcome aboard. Today, it's a lot to talk about. It's something that has to do with Nigerian football. But before then, I would love you to listen to this clip. Then afterwards, we'll talk about the main focus for today.
Anyone that went to La Masia, anyone, they will talk to you about it. That's how they think, that's how they are. They will pass it on because they believe in it, because they have a duty, they have a way of playing. You like it or Titles in Spain, they won 11. They won 11.
There were a lot of players who came through the academy in that team, weren't there? Obviously, it was incredible. Probably 7 or 8 of them.
You got maybe more.
Puyol, Piqué, Xavi, Busquets, Iniesta, Messi, Pedro.
And then you had some guys that were coming sometimes too, but main guys.
Yeah.
They will all hammer you with what the club is.
Who is that?
Anyone that went to La Masia, anyone, they will talk to you about it. That's how they think, that's how they are. They will pass it on because they believe in it, because they have a duty, they have a way of playing. You like it or you don't, that's how it is. They're proud of what they do, they're proud of the club. It's nice to have people like that. Arsenal has been dominating football with guys in the academy. I mean, who can say that? Apart from Ajax, that team in the 90s, you guys did it. If you look at the last 20 titles in Spain, they won 11. They won 11.
That the coaches that La Masia produce, for the young players are super, super important.
It's interesting because when I played for Barcelona, they didn't have the training complex they have now. They used to play on a little pitch on the side of the Camp Nou. It wasn't even a full-size one, I don't think. It was not a great surface, but La Masia was the house that was just behind it. Mm-hmm. I used to think, that's where the players stay and the young players. But obviously things change dramatically. When did you start to realise that you had what it took to be a footballer?
That's a difficult one. Even if I want to try and remember, I've always been very cautious. Like, I'm not going to say that I didn't believe in myself, but I always took the game in a very competitive way, but always thinking that I was not good enough.
All right, that was Thierry Henry and also Cesc Fabregas talking about La Masia. Don't worry, I'm getting somewhere. All right, for a nation that once ruled age-grade football and exported stars to the world, these failures are not just results, they are symptoms. For a nation that once ruled age-grade football and exported stars to the world, these failures are not just results, they are symptoms. Symptoms of a deeper problem, a problem buried at the very foundation of our sports structure. It's been a season of heartbreaks for Nigerian football fans. The Golden Eaglets, once the pride of the world, failed to qualify for the Under-17 World Cup, a tournament that used to define our dominance. The Flying Eagles, full of promise, crashed out at the World Cup in a scandalous fashion, bowing out to Argentina in a match that exposed more than just tactical flaws. And yes, the Super Eagles, our flag bearers, continues to struggle for consistency in a qualification race that once came naturally. So today on Sport Echoes, we are not here to point fingers or trade blame. We are here to ask one question that echoes across every playground, every empty stadium, and every silent sports office in Nigeria. Now the question is, where did our grassroots go? Because maybe our struggles at the top aren't just the real issues. Maybe the problem lies in the forgotten fields where our heroes once began. Hence the topic for today, grassroots to glory, why Nigeria must rethink talent development. Now you can connect the dots why I played a clip that has to do with La Masia, because one of the best academies right there. And right now in Nigeria, I feel like that's the problem, the grassroots. You talk about the under-17, the likes of Victor James Osimhen, they won it easily, the World Cup. And right now, we can't even qualify for the World Cup. The under-20, I saw their game against Argentina, 4-0 it ended. And for me, that was a town hall, different from Ballet Blue performance from the boys. So yes, a grassroots to glory, why Nigeria must rethink talent development. Every champion has a beginning, a dusty field, a local coach, a school sports day, or even a small community where dreams first took shape. Before the bright lights, before the national anthem and the medals, there was the grassroots. This is where Nigeria's greatness in sport was once born. In the early years, especially through the 70s, 80s and 90s, Nigeria took grassroots development seriously. Sports weren't just an afterthought, they were a way of life. Every school had a PHE teacher, a physical and health education teacher who doubled as a coach. Inter-house sports weren't just annual rituals. They were scouting grounds for the next generation. From the simple beginnings came superstars, names that defined Nigerian pride on the global stage. You talk about Nwako Kanu, discovered during youth competitions in Owerri, rose from playing barefoot to captaining the Super Eagles and winning the Olympic gold. Talk about JJ Okocha, known for his artistry, first drew attention at neighborhood tournaments before moving through youth football system. And yes, not just in football alone, Chioma Ajunwa, long before our Olympic gold in Atlanta 1996, trained with limited resources in Imo State, molded by grassroots system that believed in raw Nigerian talent. In those days, the foundation was solid. Now, you talk about competitions like this, the National School Sport Festival, Shell Cup, the Principal's Cup, were not just competition, they were pipelines. Government funding flowed, scouts showed up, and talent art structures. Sport councils at state and local levels were active, organizing events to discover hidden gems. The system worked because the base was strong. But like many good things, they say it didn't last. Over time, the attention shifted. The pitch that once echoed the cheers of young athletes now lie empty or converted into parking lots. The Principal's Cup that once gave us stars like Stephen Keshi, Eri Uwosu, Daniel Amukachi are faded into irregularity. School sports budgets disappeared. Many local governments folded their sport councils or left them underfunded. Today, what remains of Nigeria's grassroots structure is a shadow of what it used to be. Private academies have stepped in. Yes, they are doing well, but they can't replace the national system that once united schools, communities, and state programs in talent discovery. Right now, we now live in an era where young athletes rely on luck, being spotted by a random scout, or having a relative abroad instead of a structured path that once existed. It's no wonder Nigeria's performance in major competitions are deep. When the roots is weakened, the tree can no longer stand strong. From the dusty school fields to Olympic gold, that was once our story. But if we forget the field where greatness was planted, can we ever harvest glory again? Deep question, rather. There was a time when Nigerian sports didn't wait for foreign help or big sponsorship. A time when the foundation was strong, that every street, every school, and every community could produce a champion. Back in the day, grassroots development wasn't just a policy, it was a culture. The Ministry of Sport, state sports councils, and school authorities worked hand in hand. At the primary and secondary school levels, sports was part of education. Every school team, ended with their inter-sport competitions, and from there, the best students advanced to inter-school and interstate tournaments. Events like the National School Sport Festival, the Principal's Cup, and the Shell Cup were breeding grounds for national heroes. Scouts from clubs and national youth team filled the stands, watching, taking notes, and discovering tomorrow's stars. It wasn't uncommon for a local player to be spotted at a zonal championship and called up for under-17 camp or a state festival. That's how the golden generation of Nigerian football and athletics was born. Now let's rewind the 1980s and 1990s, the Nigerian golden sporting era. Stephen Keshi, the late Big Boss, rose from a local football in Asaba through the youth system to become a Super Eagles captain and African Cup of Nations winning coach. JJ Okocha first caught attention playing in community games in Enugu before being spotted by scouts. Kanu Nwankwo emerged from a youth tournament in Owerri, discovered at a time when Nigeria's youth progress was structured and opportunities were open. I don't like to always give just football examples. I mentioned Chioma Ajunwa, Mary Oyali, Falilat Ogukoya all came through school sport programs that prioritize athletics as a national pride. And even after football, sports like boxing, table tennis, and basketball had grassroots pipelines that produced stars such as Duncan Dokiari, Shegun Toriola, and Olumide Oyedeji. These athletes weren't discovered by luck. They were products of a system that worked. Now, the results spoke loudly. Because of that strong grassroots base, Nigeria dominated age-grade competitions. Just to name some of those competitions, if the FIFA Under-17 World Cup that we didn't qualify, Nigeria became the most successful nation in history with titles in 1985, 1993, 2007, 2013, and most recently 2015, where we saw the likes of Victor Osimhen, Samu Chukwueze. Talk about the Olympics 1996 at Atlanta. Nigeria shocked the world, winning gold in football and medals in athletics. African Games and Commonwealth Games, Nigerian athletes consistently made podiums in track, field, and team events. Now, if you ask me, the reason was simple: we are vesting from a well-nurtured field. Every medal, every record, every global recognition had its roots in the local competition that once thrived in schools and communities. Back then, sport offices visited schools regularly to identify emerging talents. State government organized sport festivals to keep athletes active all year round. Even the military and the police sport programs discovered talents that went on to represent the country internationally. Then, there was a structure, there was discipline, there was pride. Young athletes knew that hard work at the local level could earn them a spot at the national youth teams, the likes of the Flying Eagles, the Golden Eaglets, and the Falconets. today, when we look back at that era, one thing stands out. The system was not perfect, but it was alive. Everyone played a role: schools, communities, coaches, government, and private sponsors. The journey from grassroots to glory was once a clear road. Now it's overgrown and barely visible. All right, I'm moving to the next segment. That's the decline of grassroots system. Every empire that forgets its foundation eventually falls. And sadly, Nigeria's sports story is no different. Once upon a time, our school fields were filled with the energy. Now, many of those same fields are covered in weeds, or worse, replaced by buildings. I remember in my school back then, where we used to play football, all of a sudden we saw a library built on it. And then we couldn't play football. Where we are supposed to be training, it's not bad. A library where we are supposed to be training, a library was built on it. So many were discouraged. In fact, I stopped playing at that point in time. The inter-house sport that used to be the heartbeat of every school term, many schools don't owe them anymore. Some can't even afford functional tracks or equipment. The Principal's Cup, the Shell Cup, and yes, I wouldn't mention this. It's a popular basketball championship. Not just to mention it because of the brand. Because, yes, they once created pathways to national teams, but they now struggle to maintain consistency, often relying on private sponsors to survive. And yes, the biggest blow came from neglect and poor funding. Sports state councils that used to run year-round competitions became dormant. Local coaches once employed to nurture talents were laid off and left unpaid. Training facilities from swimming pools to gymnasiums were abandoned. For many young athletes, the dream began to die before it even started. And while a few private academies tried to fill the gap, most couldn't reach the remote areas where real raw talents live. Yes, where real raw talents lives, the villages, the inner cities, the forgotten communities. Now, what replaced the old structure was chaos. Now, talent development has no clear roadmap. Young talents and athletes depend on luck or personal sponsors to be seen. Parents who cannot afford academy fees simply watch their children's dream fade away. Sport administrators focus more on elite competition than on development programs, spending heavily on tournaments while the pipeline that feeds them dries up. And yes, we've lost a generation, maybe even two. Players with the potential of Okocha, Mikel, or Kanu might never be discovered because no one is watching the local pitches anymore. Athletes who could have matched Blessing Okagbare or Ese Brume don't have the coaches, equipment, or motivation to keep them training. And in some regions, corruption and mismanagement have worsened the crisis. Funds meant for young programs are diverted. And local sports offices function more as political posts than development hubs. So local sport offices function more as political posts than development hubs, rather. But meanwhile, other countries, especially in Africa, are investing heavily in youth structures. You talk about Morocco. They have a national academy system that produces technically gifted players exported to Europe. And look at their performance. First team to qualify for the World Cup. Talk about their under 20. You talk about their female team. They played Nigeria in the final. Yes, where the Super Falcons defeated them in that final. But you talk about the consistency. They've been there before, and right now, and the same thing is always the pitch of Morocco, because every time you hear, oh, this competition is being hosted by Morocco, when you talk about their structures, their field, everything is just working for them. As well as Senegal's academies, co-founded by former players, has become a model of football education. Even smaller nations like Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire still run active youth leagues and national school championships. Nigeria, once the giant of African talents, now risk being left behind, not because of talent disappeared, but because we stopped nurturing it. Many former athletes and coaches have cried out with the recent trend of, you can't build a national team from abroad. It must start from the ground up. Don't bring players from abroad to come and represent. Dig up, find talent from communities, from local sites. You always see talent everywhere. Grassroots coaches lament that their efforts go unnoticed. Young players say they no longer have tournaments to showcase their abilities, and fans, they can't see the result, a visible decline in quality, passion, and identity. It's not just about sport, it's about opportunity. When we fail to invest in grassroots, we are not just losing talents, athletes, we are losing stories, heroes, and national pride. We went from exporting raw diamonds to letting them rot in the soil. But every fall leaves a lesson. And the good news is, Nigeria can still rise again if we choose to rebuild. Every comeback starts with a plan, and if Nigerian sporting story is to be written again, the next chapter must begin at the grassroots. For too long, we've been talking about the glory days. Now it's time to rebuild them. The dreams of producing the next Okocha or Kagbari or Mikel isn't far-fetched, but the dreams without structure remain fantasies. To rebuild, Nigeria must rethink talent development from the ground up. Schools, communities, academies, and government must all reconnect. Every champion starts in a school somewhere, barefoot, eager, and unnoticed. Now, trying to render solutions to all of it. The first step is restoring sports school programs. Yes, school sport programs. School sport programs. Very, very important. Reinstate compulsory inter-house sport games in both public and private schools. Provide basic sporting facilities, even if it's just clean fields, nets, and timing equipment. Train and employ certified sport teachers and coaches to handle early development. Partnership with brands which already sponsor youth competition can be expanded to reach every state. Because the foundation of any national sport culture lies in its classroom and playgrounds. After schools, young athletes need consistent competition. That's where community and state leagues come in. Every local government area in Nigeria should have annual youth competitions. It could be football, athletics, basketball, table tennis, volleyball, whatever the community is known for. Reviving state sports festivals like the Ogun State Gateway Games or Delta State's Sports Festivals can reignite local passion and keep athletes active. Because talent without exposure dies quietly. When communities compete, they create identity, and that's how national pride begins. And yes, government can partner with academies, offering them infrastructure, grants, and access to national youth programs, ensuring that gifted child, whether rich or poor, has a fair chance. And also the role of technology and data. Modern sports thrive on data, scouting, and structure. Remember, I played that clip of La Masia and Thierry Henry talking about how La Masia, they thrived based on data, scouting, and structure. You can trace back to some of them when they were right there 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. They didn't just pop out. They did everything. They trained hard. They fought hard. Look at this young man, Lamine Yamal, 18 years. I saw a clip where he was with this man, Sergio Ramos, as a mascot. He didn't just pop out. He worked his way to this level. And certainly Barca and even Spain, they are reaping his fortunes. So talking about the role of technology and data, Nigeria can adopt tech-driven systems where young athletes' performance are tracked from school to state level through apps, talent databases, and scouting networks. That's how the likes of Morocco and Senegal are built continuity by keeping records, not just memories. In the digital age, a player shouldn't need luck to be discovered. Talent should be traceable. Just like I mentioned, Lamine Yamal. Traceable. Lionel Messi. I saw his clip when he was 9, 8. He didn't just win all of those Ballon d'Or. is traceable. It worked its way to this level that is currently on. But yes, it's not a job for government alone. Corporate sponsors, NGOs, former athletes, and local businesses have a role to play in this, because we need public-private partnership, tax incentives, mandatory youth quotas, and most importantly, accountability. Funds meant for development must reach the field, not disappear into fouls. Countries like Senegal, Morocco, France have shown that structured academies can achieve. The national teams are filled with homegrown players who were developed systematically, not randomly. Nigeria can adapt this model to local realities, blending formal education with sport, creating a balance between mind and muscle. Imagine a future where every Nigerian state has a national standard academy producing athletes for football, athletics, basketball, boxing, and even sports in general. Like someone told me, once you're born in Nigeria, there's no way you can participate in the MotoGP race. Because, I mean, have you seen any Nigerian arrive there in the MotoGP or Formula One? But yeah, that's not a dream. That's a plan waiting for action. Alright, it's time for the quiz segment where I ask questions, and if you get them, you're gonna win something. Alright, the studio lines are 070 2520 107, 070 2520 107. You can as well call 070 5507 107. Hello.
Hello,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Boluwatife calling from Academy.
Boluwatife calling from Academy. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
All right. I'm very fine. All right. So let's move straight to the quiz segment.
Question number 1.
Question number 1.
Yes.
Okay. So, what year did Nigeria make its first appearance at the FIFA World Cup?
FIFA World Cup.
Yeah.
1983.
You're wrong. So call me back. It was 1994, hosted in the USA. 07025201107, 07025201107. You can as well call 07055071107, 07055071107. Hello.
Hello, this is Boluwatife calling back.
Okay. You really want to win, though?
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, and pick another number.
Question 5.
Okay, question 5.
Yes.
All right, so who is Nigeria's all-time top scorer for the Super Eagles, and how many goals does he have? How many goals?
20. I don't remember.
20 what?
Maybe 27.
27?
Yeah.
All right, so you're wrong. It's 37, not 27. 37.
Hello? This brother answer calling back.
This guy, you sure want to win by all means.
How do you win?
All right, I'll pick one more number.
Question 10, number 10.
Okay. Which MPFL club are you listed?
I'm listening.
Who won the 2023-2024 MPFL season? 2023-2024 MPFL season.
Monster.
Huh?
Monster.
You're wrong once again. Thank you so much for calling. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Michael from Gate.
Michael from Gate. Okay, you want to move straight to the quiz segment?
Sorry, I have to ask. How many times? I mean, you can talk about that better month, right?
Yes, I mean, there's no restriction.
Okay, give me the last question.
Last number 20, yeah? Okay, so how many times has Nigeria finished as runners-up at the Under-17 World Cup?
3 times.
How many? Mention the years.
I can't even mention the years.
You know that it's 3 times.
Yeah.
You're certain.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm surprised that you even got that right, because it's actually 3 times. But in the question, you are supposed to mention the years.
I mean, that means I get half.
Yes. Probably you're going to get half reward. All right, so thank you so much for calling. I'll call out my number and probably I'll reach out to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so it was correct 3 times in 1987, 2001, and 2009. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Dolapo calling from Iwo Road.
Dolapo calling from Iwo Road. How are you doing?
I'm good.
All right, straight to the questions. Pick a number.
Number 15.
Number 15.
Yes.
Okay. Who coached the Flying Eagles to the 2005 Under-20 World Cup? Samson?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct. What's the name?
The rapper calling from the world.
Okay, so I'll read out my number and I will reach out to you after the show.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much for calling. Alright, it's time to go. We've told you enough stories about what we used to be, and now is the time to build who we want to become. The road from grassroots to glory is long, but it begins with one's decision to believe again in our young people, to invest in their passion, to rebuild the field that once raised our heroes. Because somewhere in Nigeria right now, a young girl is running barefoot on a dusty track. A boy is juggling a ball on a broken pitch. They are ready. All they need is a system that believes in them. Alright, a special thanks to Daniel Adeyemi, who is the studio manager for today. Amos 33 at the engineering, doing justice to all of that. And also the producer of this show, Pretty the Finest, Adegoke. And yes, the general manager of Melody 100.7 FM, Eniola Afolabi, the sports marshal. And also the chairman of Melody FM, Prophet Sam Adebayo Ojo, Baba Authority. Thank you so much, sir, for this platform. I do not take it for granted. Alright, until later today, when I come your way again on Complete Sport 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., I'm Akinbobola, Egunfemi. Good afternoon.